There's always something you know you need to do. You've planned for it, you've thought about it, but somehow, you can't bring yourself to act on it. Time passes, and that task remains untouched. You may wonder why you can't seem to get moving, despite your best intentions. The truth is simple, the problem isn't your motivation, it's your mindset. But what if I told you there's a simple, powerful shift that can propel you into action? What if I told you that success isn't about waiting for motivation to show up, but about learning how to move even when you don't feel like it? In this section, I'll show you how to change your mindset and get out of your head, because until you do, you'll keep watching your potential slip away. The power of action. Success isn't waiting for motivation. Many people believe that success comes to those who wait for the right time or for motivation to spark. But that's the wrong approach. The real secret to success is this: motivation follows action. Think about it. How many times have you procrastinated on a task, thinking you needed to feel ready or inspired to begin? The truth is, the moment you take action, motivation begins to show up. The successful individuals you admire didn't sit around waiting for inspiration to hit them. They acted first and allowed the clarity and energy to come later. Action doesn't need to be perfect, it needs to happen. That initial push is often all it takes to overcome inertia, and once you've taken that first step, momentum carries you forward. Imagine a writer who struggles with writer's block. They sit at their desk, staring at a blank page, waiting for inspiration to strike. But then, they decide to just write. Not the perfect words, not the polished first draft, but just the act of writing. Soon, the floodgates open, and the words come naturally. The difference between waiting for the perfect moment and simply acting is what separates those who make progress from those who get stuck in the planning phase forever. Overcoming fear and doubt. Fear is the hidden enemy. Fear is one of the biggest roadblocks to success. It creeps in at the edge of every opportunity, whispering, "What if you fail? What if you are not good enough?" Fear can paralyze us, holding us back from taking action and seizing opportunities. But the key to success is learning to move despite fear, not because it's gone. Fear is a liar. It exaggerates threats that are often much smaller than they appear in our minds. And even if you do fail, so what? Failure is simply part of the journey. It's not the end, it's the beginning of something better. The truth is, every successful person you admire has faced their fears and doubts. The difference is that they didn't let fear control them. They took action anyway. And when they did, fear began to shrink. The more you move towards fear, the smaller it becomes. The first step is always the hardest. That's when fear has the most power over you. But the moment you take action, fear begins to lose its grip. Each step you take makes fear less relevant, less intimidating. Think of an athlete stepping into the ring, a performer taking the stage, or an entrepreneur making their first sale. They didn't wait for fear to disappear. They acted despite it. And that action was the key to their progress. The relentless power of discipline, showing up even when you don't want to. Motivation is fleeting. It's unreliable. One day, you might feel like you can conquer the world, but the next day, you might struggle to even get out of bed. That's why discipline is the key to success. Discipline means committing to the work, even when you don't feel like it. It means showing up every day and doing what needs to be done, even when your emotions don't align with your goals. Think of the most disciplined people in the world: athletes, military personnel, and high-achieving professionals. They don't wait to feel motivated. They've built a habit of action. The more you commit to showing up, the more disciplined you become. And discipline, over time, builds momentum that turns into success. Discipline isn't about perfection, it's about consistency. Some days, the work might feel effortless, and other days, it might be a struggle. But those who succeed don't rely on motivation, they rely on the habit of discipline. The process may feel slow at first, but as you persist, your discipline builds like muscle. Over time, you'll find yourself doing what you once thought impossible simply because you've made the act of showing up a daily habit. Moving in silence, mastering the art of quiet power. In a world obsessed with instant gratification, likes, and social validation, the true masters of success understand the power of silence. They don't announce their plans. They don't seek applause or recognition. They let their actions speak for themselves. The loudest people in the room often feel the need to prove themselves. They're desperate for attention and validation. But the most powerful people are the ones who operate quietly, strategically, and with precision. Think of someone you admire, someone who seems to effortlessly achieve success. They don't need to tell the world their every move. They don't need to boast about their progress. They just work, and the results speak for themselves. The quiet strength of those who move in silence comes from their self-assurance. They don't need others' approval because they know who they are. They don't need validation because their results prove their worth. If you want to develop this power, stop seeking approval. Stop explaining your plans to everyone who asks. Let your work be your voice. The more you act in silence, the more power you gain. Remember, silence is not passive. It's a form of strategy. When you're silent, people start to wonder what you're up to. They start to speculate, and that's when your power becomes undeniable. When you finally reveal your progress, it's often too late for anyone to catch up. Taking control of your destiny, the unstoppable power of consistent action. Success isn't about waiting for the perfect moment or the right feelings to show up. It's about relentless action. The more you move, the more momentum you build. Every step forward reveals new opportunities, insights, and motivations you couldn't see from the starting line. The true key to success is discipline, the discipline to keep moving, even when you don't feel like it. The discipline to act in the absence of motivation, in the face of fear, and the pursuit of long-term goals. The discipline to work in silence and let your results speak louder than words ever could. When you learn to take action no matter what, you become unstoppable. You build momentum, and you unlock doors that were previously closed. Action is the key to turning potential into reality. And when you look back, you won't just see the goals you achieved, you'll see a version of yourself who was never afraid to act. You will see someone who wasn't waiting for the perfect moment, they created the perfect moment with every step they took. Courage isn't about the absence of fear, it's about the willingness to act despite it. It's the choice to face discomfort, the courage to step forward even when doubt clouds your mind. We've all been there. That feeling of hesitation before leaping, the nagging voice that tells you to wait for the right moment. But here's the truth, the right moment will never come. Fear thrives on hesitation. The longer you wait, the more powerful it becomes. It convinces you that the consequences of failure are catastrophic, that the risks are too great. Yet, most of what we fear rarely comes to fruition. And even when it does, we possess a remarkable ability to recover, to learn, and to adapt. Think about the worst-case scenario. Can you handle it? More often than not, the answer is yes. Humans are far more resilient than they give themselves credit for. Most failures are temporary, most mistakes are correctable, and every setback holds valuable lessons that ultimately lead us to success. The power to break free from fear lies in action. The moment you take a step forward, you diminish the illusion of fear's power. It's like trying to scale a wall at first, it seems impossible. But as you move toward it, as you begin to climb, you realize that the wall isn't as high as it first appeared. Fear is an illusion, built on inaction and procrastination. Take the story of Edwin C. Barnes, a man who had no money, no connections, and no clear path to success. He had a burning desire to work with Thomas Edison. Many would have been paralyzed by fear and hesitation, but Barnes didn't wait for the perfect moment or for things to align. He boarded a freight train, arrived at Edison's office, and declared his intent to become his business partner. Initially given a low-level job, he never gave up on his dream. Years later, when the opportunity came, Barnes seized it and became an integral part of Edison's success. His story is proof that when you act despite fear, opportunities reveal themselves. Facing fear head-on, the only way to diminish its power. So, how do you beat fear? Face it directly. Stop waiting for the perfect time because it doesn't exist. The only way to diminish fear is to act, and the sooner you start, the easier it becomes. Take the first step, no matter how small, and with each step, you weaken fear's hold on you. You will see that what once seemed like an insurmountable challenge is simply another problem to solve. Fear is a liar. It amplifies your doubts, exaggerates the risks, and convinces you that failure is inevitable. But the truth is, failure is not the end. Failure is feedback, a lesson that guides you towards your next move. The only thing that can stop you is inaction. Fear only wins if you let it stop you from trying. The choice is simple: will you let fear dictate your future, or will you take control and move forward despite it? The answer to that question will define your path. Choose action. Choose progress. Choose courage. Breaking the cycle of procrastination, take action now. How many times have you found yourself saying, "I'll start tomorrow"? And how many times has tomorrow turned into next week, next month, or even next year? Time slips away, and before you know it, you've accumulated a backlog of unfulfilled dreams and uncompleted tasks. Procrastination is a silent thief, disguised as perfectionism or preparation. You tell yourself you need more time, more resources, or more confidence. But the truth is, the longer you wait, the harder it becomes to start. The perfect moment you're waiting for doesn't exist. Time is finite, and every moment you spend waiting for the right time is a moment you'll never get back. The key to breaking the procrastination cycle is action. Even if it's imperfect, even if it's small, the only way to combat procrastination is to start. Start now. Implement the 5-minute rule. Commit to working on a task for just 5 minutes. No pressure, no expectations, just the commitment to take that first step. Once you begin, momentum takes over. It's often the initial resistance that makes starting feel so daunting, but once you push past it, you'll find that the task becomes much easier. Discipline over perfection, mastering the art of consistency. Success is not about waiting for inspiration or motivation to strike. It's about the daily discipline to show up even when you don't feel like it. Most people give up because they wait for the right mood, the perfect conditions, or the ideal time. But the key to success is discipline, not perfection. You have to prioritize consistency over perfection. Small daily actions, even when they seem insignificant, compound over time. Think about how a little bit of effort every day builds into something significant over the long term. Success isn't about doing something extraordinary once in a while. It's about showing up, day after day, even when you don't feel like it. Start by controlling your environment. Distractions are everywhere: social media, notifications, endless entertainment. If you don't control your environment, it will control you. Set clear deadlines, break large tasks into manageable steps, and focus on consistent, incremental progress. The more you stay consistent, the less room procrastination and fear will have to thrive. Accountability, the power of commitment and responsibility. Another powerful way to defeat procrastination is through accountability. Tell someone about your goals. Track your progress. Write things down. When you commit yourself and others, you create a sense of responsibility that is harder to break. Accountability helps you stay on track, especially on the days when your motivation is low. The path forward: action, not waiting. The difference between those who succeed and those who remain stuck is the ability to take action without waiting for the perfect conditions. It's about deciding that you're not going to wait for the right time, you're going to make time. Every day is an opportunity to take a step forward, no matter how small. Action is the antidote to fear and procrastination. The only way to shape your future is through the choices you make today. Stop waiting. Start now. Will you continue to wait, or will you take control and start today? The choice is yours. Tomorrow is not promised. The only time you truly have is now. So stop waiting. Stop planning endlessly. Take the first step, no matter how small, no matter how imperfect, because action beats inaction every single time. Fourth, build self-discipline. It isn't about forcing yourself to suffer. It's about training yourself to win. It's a mindset, a commitment to excellence, and an unwavering belief in your ability to persevere. Every time you show up for yourself, you prove that you can trust yourself. That trust builds confidence, and confidence fuels success. The key to discipline isn't about making yourself miserable. It's about reinforcing habits that lead to victory. The more you push through discomfort, the easier it gets. The first time you step into discomfort, it feels unbearable. Your mind screams at you to stop, to seek comfort, to return to safety. But if you resist that urge, if you push through even when it's hard, you begin to reshape your mental landscape. You rewire your brain to embrace challenge rather than flee from it. Over time, what once seemed impossible becomes second nature. You develop resilience, a mental toughness that turns obstacles into stepping stones. Discipline isn't about doing what you feel like doing. It's about doing what needs to be done, regardless of how you feel. If you rely on motivation, you'll find yourself at the mercy of your emotions. Motivation is fleeting. It comes and goes like the wind, but discipline is different. It doesn't depend on your mood or your level of enthusiasm. It is a conscious decision to take action, whether you feel like it or not. You don't negotiate with your emotions. You don't wait until you feel ready.